Hey, cosmic warriors, spiritual skeptics, or just a random confused human. Welcome to another dimension. It's time to sit down with me, your reluctant mystic Michelle, coming to you from the void between worlds to talk about some really interesting metaphysical stuff. Who am I? Just a human who's been thrown into this place called Earth, who has a lot of questions, born with a whole bunch of gifts, but not a lot of answers. So what this podcast is going to do is explore some paranormal mysteries, energetic phenomena, and a lot of FML moments that have you questioning, what the hell are we doing here? So if you're spiritual or you're just really confused, this is the right place for you. So join me if you like riding the waves of the quantum ocean and getting really down deep into the WTF of what's going on here. Because, as I always say, they're legit. There's no way I signed up for this. So if you're ready for a wild ride, let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So I am seeing a lot of good feedback for the last 3 episodes, and we're in episode 4, and look, I'm being consistent. Been pushing an episode weekly. Looks like Monday's my vibe night, so looks like Monday's gonna be my steady, but we're in episode 4, and if you've made it to episode 4 with me, thank you. Thank you for sticking with me. If you've been one of the ones who've been listening from the inception back in 2019, thank you for dealing with my breaks in production. And if you've been somebody who's been jumping from this one over to the other pod episodes over there through the looking glass, thank you for that. We do have some exciting information coming on that end, which will be announced at the beginning of October, because if you know me, October is kind of a thing for me. Kind of love that month. So we'll be announcing the new stuff over there in October. But tonight, today, this evening, this morning, whenever you're listening, this episode, might step on some toes tonight. We might step on some toes. Imagine that. Me stepping on toes. Imagine that, me pushing that envelope. Yeah. We're going to talk about spiritual manipulation. What the heck is that? There's people right now shaking their head. What is that? I guarantee you, when we start this conversation, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. You just never had the words for it, right? And in the mental health field, one thing that we pride ourselves in doing is giving individuals the words to explain or address or describe what they're feeling or experiencing. And this is no different. So yeah, we're going to be talking about spiritual manipulation, spiritual ego. We're going to be talking about both of these things. Both of these are topics that might ruffle a few feathers, or it might explain some things that people have experienced. At any rate, I'm being led to have this conversation, so don't get mad with me. Get mad with my spirit guides. Get mad with the man upstairs, or woman. Get mad with all of them. So yeah, what is spiritual manipulation? Before I can jump into that, I'm gonna have to kind of give you some words to explain spiritual ego. So some people have heard me speak on this before. If you are a part of any of the other groups or places that I frequent, sometimes I have spoke about this before because it was channeled to and led to, but I'm going to speak on it again because that's what I'm being told to do. So spiritual ego. In this happens a lot when people are just stepping into their gifts, right? I can do this thing. I have the ability to do this thing, right? And sometimes we allow that to get out of control. What does that mean? When you are utilizing your gifts or learning about them in any shape, form, or fashion, it starts to make you think you're better than somebody else. my gifts are better than yours, or my gift is a better gift than yours, or I can use my gift to do this. What can you do? This is what I refer to as spiritual ego. Some people might look at certain abilities as less than, right? For example, I have a series of gifts. So when I look at my list or catalog of the items that the Lord has provided for me to do the work here with the people I interact with, I do have a hierarchy. I do feel some of my gifts have much more intensity, have a higher ranking than other gifts. However, I know when to pull which one out the toolbox when I need it, right? Sometimes being a medium isn't needed. When I'm talking to somebody who's going through something, my empathic gift is much more suitable than, hey, I see your great-great-great-great-grandmom over there and she's just saying hi. Kind of not the time for that, right? Read the room. So people having multiple gifts, which many of us do, you probably do have a hierarchy of your gifts. Like, what gift do you feel is more important? And I'm going to give you a moment. Like, think about that. If you're listening to this and you have, and you're somebody who has multiple gifts, I guarantee you, okay, I'm not going to guarantee you, but I'm pretty sure there's a gift that you have or a few that you feel, this is a higher caliber. This is top shelf. But this one over here, meh, I have it, but I don't really give it attention or the light of day. So when we're talking about spiritual ego, that comes into play when individuals feel that their gifting is higher ranking, more important than someone else's. And they start to act out in the space of, well, I can't interact with you. Or if somebody's trying to speak or express, information that they have from their gifts, the people who feel like, mine are better than yours, kind of tune them out. Here's the gotcha. Here's the plot twist. We all need all of them. Human coming on this planet, it's based on relationships. It's based on working together. It's based on coming together for the greater good. So everyone's gifts works jointly. So you can have a group of people who have all different gifts, but they can't get the full message separately. It comes different pieces at a time jointly. It forces us to connect and build relationships. So when you're talking to individuals who feel, my gift is better than yours, or I'm not going to talk to that individual because all she can do is feel what animals feel. Everybody's gift is just as important, right? My mediumship, clairvoyance, clairaudience, my ability to access the Akashic records, all of these things are just as important as somebody who can touch an object and tell you where it's from or who it belongs to, right? Now, I'm not going to lie. If I meet somebody who can levitate, if I meet somebody who can throw objects across the rooms just with their mind, like think of Stranger Things here, I'm probably going to be geeking out a little bit, fangirling here, like, oh no, maybe your gift is better than mine. But we have to look at it big picture. What's the point of being able to throw things across the room if you don't know why you're doing it, right? If you don't know what the purpose is, right? It might be somebody who can't touch the object and tell you about this object before you throw it. It's the coming together. It's that unity. It's that working together. That's the most important piece, because that's what we're here to do. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a huge Avengers fan, right? When they say Avengers Assemble. Everybody has their own thing, right? Everybody has their own thing, but together is how they get the job done. So that is spiritual ego. So now that I've laid that foundation for what spiritual ego is, let's talk about spiritual manipulation. So this gets a little bit in the murky murks. Okay. So when you have gifts and people know that you have these gifts and things of that nature, there comes responsibility. And anybody that I have coached, anybody that I have worked with as they develop their gifts, some of the first things I talk about is that responsibility that comes with your gift. The question I usually ask is, what makes the difference? What's the difference between a villain and a hero? What's the difference? The answer is intention, right? You can have a hero and a villain who have the same exact gifts, powers, everything else. The difference is intention. How do you choose to use what you've been given? And I'm not going to quote Spider-Man because I know there's somebody saying, with great responsibility, right? Or with great power comes fill in the blank. All my Spider-Man Marvel people already know what the phrase is. But there's logic and honesty and everything behind that one statement. It comes with a responsibility. When you're looking at spiritual manipulation, it's using somebody's belief in what you can do, using somebody's belief in what you're providing them to take or to modify or to control an outcome that you benefit from. Let me say that again. When somebody believes in you, in your gift, in the things that you tell them, and you use that belief, that trust, to manipulate them into doing something that you want them to do for your benefit, that is spiritual manipulation. So what would that look like real world? What would that look like? Say, I really want a job. I really want this job. But I also know one of my friends wants the same position. Now, he doesn't know I want the job. He has no idea I want the job, but I really do. So he comes to you and says, hey, I'm thinking about applying for this job. Can you, energetically tap in and tell me, is it worth it? He's coming to you because he trusts you. He trusts your gift. He trusts your integrity. But because you want the job, you provide an answer that is, no, it doesn't look like it's going to pan out for you. Or no, I wouldn't even waste my time. It looks like it's going to be a long process. Whatever excuse you give. And because that person trusts you, trusts your gift, they choose not to apply for it. They're like, okay, well, I guess I'll, press on, leaving it open for you. Now, if you get it, there's karma and everything else that comes with it. And you're probably going to have to explain or have an awkward conversation with that individual. But that's just an example. Now, I said karma. Is there fallback? Is there something that occurs when you do something of that nature? Absolutely. Because it's an example of disobedience. And we are going to have an episode that talks about obedience and disobedience, but you have to answer for doing things of that nature when you're utilizing something that you've been given to increase in high vibe and all the good things, right? And you're using it for your benefit and potentially to hurt others. There's fallback for that, What you put out, you get back. And so a lot of times you get back like 10 times worse. I've seen what disobedience does. I've seen it. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? You also have to ask yourself, breaking someone's trust in you, is that worth it? And then it goes back to that question. What's the difference between a villain and a hero? If they have the same gifts, tools, powers, let's say powers for this example, if they have the exact same powers, what's the difference? It's intention. So, two concepts that we discussed, right? Spiritual ego and spiritual manipulation. And I'm curious to see how many of you have experienced either, or how many of you have been guilty of either. With spiritual ego, I think I was on the other end, right? Because I was always like, everybody's gifts are better than mine, everybody. But then I started to learn that everybody couldn't do what I did. Like, I have some very unique gifts, but I don't astral travel on demand like some people do. I'm not a dreamer, meaning the prophetic dreams and things of that nature. Not on demand. Like, there's individuals who can do that stuff on demand, that they can come out of their 3D bodies and astral plane, astro surf, right? I can't do that on demand. I don't want to try. Certain things freak me out. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. And that's probably a whole nother conversation, right? When your gift scares you. Like, yeah, I can do it, but I don't want to. It's kind of like the whole mediumship. In the beginning, it's like, yeah, I see dead people. Really don't want to. I really don't want to. And it's scary until you learn how to control it, until you understand it. And that's what I do, and that's how I work with people. I get them more comfortable in their ability so they are able to utilize it. So, yeah, I wish I had somebody like that for myself when I was younger, and no one can understand or explain to me what was going on. To a 7-year-old, it's just what's happening is not right. So you get post-traumatic stress from that, right? I'm not supposed to talk about this. I grew up in the Deep South. This is wrong, but it's a part of who I am. So, with all that being said, we have to understand that your gift comes with responsibilities, and how you choose to use the gifts also comes back to what you expect to get back. Like, I guess I should rephrase that. Let's not say what you expect to get back. But if you are using things for different purposes, i.e. manipulation, then you have to answer for that. Like, there's pay. There's karmic pay that you have to do. And you're either going to get paid for putting high vibrational stuff in the space, or you're going to create a debt with the low vibrational stuff, because whatever you're doing, that's what you're attracting back, right? So, hopefully this gave words to express or explain certain things that people might have seen, done, experienced, or doing. And also some further explanation on what it looks like so you can recognize it. And for individuals who are listening who do have gifts, to know that they come with responsibility, right? It's like when you give a 16-year-old the keys to the car. It's a great gift, that brand new car, but it's a heck of a lot of responsibility. And some of this stuff could cause detrimental damage to people. So, use your gifts. Again, everybody has them. If you're one of the humans listening like, the hell is she talking about? I don't have anything. Hit me up. I'm almost positive I can look at your lifespan and I'll tell you, like, yep, this is what you got. Yep, you might have noticed you can do this. Yep, did you notice when you get close to somebody, you start to get goosebumps? Or when you listen to certain tones, or you start to feel a certain way? Or when you shake somebody's hand, you start to feel a headache? Yeah, these are types of gifts. So, if you're curious and you want to know, send me a message, let me know. If any of this was helpful, send me a message, let me know. And I look forward to reconnecting with you all next week. But if you want to hit up the blog, the website, all that jazz, I'll put it down in the description box below. And as always, thanks for participating with this conversation. Hopefully it helped some. And yeah, you guys take care. Until next time.